Okay.
Hello.
Let's admit the first class. Hi there. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Let's unmute this class. Hi, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Hi there. Good morning, everyone. Oh, let's see. Let's unmute this class. Hi, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Hi there. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Let's unmute this class here. Hi, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Hi there. Good morning. Okay, great. We were having a little bit of trouble there. Let's All right, welcome. Welcome aboard Reach the World's Journey with Windsurf. And right now, my name is Brianna Rowe. I am working with Reach the World and I will be your host today. We have a really special morning plan for everybody here because we will be connecting back with Lorena, who is aboard the Windsurf expedition. Now, Windsurf is planning a 56-day expedition around the Caribbean. The Caribbean's a really special and unique part of the world, and it's incredibly beautiful. Now, Lorena is aboard one of the most unique ships in the world. It is the largest sailing ship, and she's going to show us around today and introduce us to the chief engineer and the captain of the ship. Now, last week we connected with Lorena, and she was in Curacao, which is a small island in the southern part of the Caribbean. So today we're going to check in with Lorena and see where she has gone in the last week and how the expedition is doing. So thank you, Lorena, for joining us today. We have a couple classrooms with you right now. We have Ms. Capozzi's second grade class in New Jersey. So I'm going to unmute everybody there and you can say hi to Lorena.
Morning, kids. How are you, everybody? Hello. So my name is Lorena. I'm working here in Windsurf as assistant destination manager. And currently we are now on our 5th week of the voyage for the 56 days around the Caribbean. And from the last time we had the video call, as mentioned by Brianna, we were in Curacao. That's one of the ABC islands in the Caribbean. And today, after that, we went to Aruba. That's also another part of the ABC islands in Caribbean. That's our turnaround day. That means on that day, we have the guests who went from the previous cruise be disembarking and another set of guests coming in for this leg of the cruise. So after that, we went to Santa Marta, Colombia. And the next day, we went to Cartagena, Colombia, which is famous for the emeralds and coffee. And next day, we were at sea, proceeding to Puerto. Now we are going to the Colon, Panama. So we are at sea right now, getting ready for the partial transit to Panama Colon on the. So tomorrow we are expected to arrive. Today we are expected to arrive in Colon, Panama around 4 p.m. But today we just recently finished our crew drill, which is mandatory and very important for us. Just in case there's an emergency, so we will be ready. We're trying to be as organized as possible. So that's it for this cruise. Also, after the Panama Canal transit, we go back to Colon again, and that's the time we have another turnaround day, which is another set of guests coming in, and the guest for this will be leaving on February. So this cruise also, we have a total of 289 guests on board and 210 crew. So we are sailing all the way now to the Colon, Panama. And also, I'm very excited to introduce you to the two of the most important crew officers on board windsurf. It is I have here with me.
Yeah, let's
Captain Remy Erickson.
Let's actually hold off Lorena before we meet everybody and the special guests, because I know that one classroom is just getting settled in and they're going to want to hear a little bit more about the ship. And we actually did just lose one of our classrooms in New Jersey, so let's deal with that technical issue and hopefully we'll get everybody back on board with the call. So I'm going to unmute the class in Queens right now, and let's see if they've connected.
To the part where we're asking questions. So you guys are going to listen quietly to what the crew members and the
It looks like they are just getting started to join into the call. So let's just troubleshoot here for.
the boat and what powers it and how they get around the Caribbean.
Hello there. Is this the fourth grade class in Queens?
Hello.
Can we see the class and see if it works here?
Okay. Let's turn the sound back
on. The students, so.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. We can see you all. Can you guys see us?
Hi, Dad. Hello, kids. Morning.
Hello.
Give us a big wave if you can see and hear us.
Okay, guys.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. So this is a fourth grade class in Queens, New York, who is joining in, and they've been following Windsurf's expedition on Reach the World. Hi, everybody. My name is Brianna Rowe, and I am your host for today. And today we have a really exciting morning because we have Lorena, who is aboard the Windsurf expedition, and she is traveling for 56 days around the Caribbean Sea on the largest sailing ship in the world right now. And so today is really special because we're going to be checking in with the ship. I know that this classroom joined us last week. And last week we were in Curacao, which was a small island. And this week, it's been 7 days. We're here to check in with Lorena and see where the ship has gone. She just gave a brief update there. And then she has some special guests. We're going to connect with the chief engineer and the captain of the ship. And these people are in charge of getting this huge, largest sailing ship in the world through the Caribbean and other parts of the Central America. So Lorena, I'll let you introduce again where we've gone in the last week. Oh no, we seem to have lost Lorena. Oh no. Well, as we wait for her to get back on board, let's check in with our other class here. So I'm going to unmute another class who's joining the call. Hi, everyone. Can you all see us now? Give us a big thumbs up if you can see us. Hi. This is Mr. Bosey's second grade class in New Jersey. So now we have Lorena back. All right.
Hello, kids.
Lorena, we lost you there.
There's a bit of an interruption with the connection.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit, where are you right now? And I'm sure the internet is not easy, so we're so grateful that you can join us.
Yeah, so right now we are on the way to Colon, Panama. Hi, kids. So previously, last part of our call, we were in Curacao. That's in the one of the ABC islands in Caribbean. Then the next day we went to Aruba, and after Aruba we went to Santa Marta, Colombia, and then another part in Colombia, which is Cartagena. That's the next day we visited. And then we had a sea day after that, going to Puerto Limon, Costa Rica. Now we are on the way to Colon, Panama, where later on we will be getting ready for the partial transit to the Panama Canal. And the next day we will be partially transiting on the 9th. And then on the 10th, that's the end of the cruise, which is the fifth leg of the voyage, the 56 days voyage. Now I'm very excited to introduce you to our master of windsurf and of course our chief engineer. We have Captain Remy Erickson and then Chief Arnold. Hello guys.
Hello.
So I'm just gonna give first the phone to Captain Remy. Hi Captain.
Hi there. How are you?
So Captain, can you tell us what you normally do in the morning daily routine in the bridge? What like operations wise?
Yeah, absolutely. Here on the windsurf, we are sailing almost every day. As Lorena just said, we're the biggest sailboat in the world. And well, I get up in the morning and out at sea like today. We spend most of the time here on the bridge. The bridge is where we drive the boat from, where we navigate, where we control the sails and the engines. So right now we're out at sea and well, we are scheduled to arrive in port in 4.5 hours from now, and that will be in Panama.
All right. So how about you, Chief?
So, hello kids. So, as chief engineer, what we do down, we need to make sure that the ship running smooth and well. First, to make the guests comfortable, because we have now almost 340 guests. Not this cruise, but the ship can accept this amount. And also to make sure that we can go from one port to another one exactly on time to respect the schedule. So this is our main challenge as engineers, is to make sure that everything running well and smooth for everybody.
All right. So any challenges, Chief, that you encountered during?
As the captain was saying, the biggest sailing boat of the world, we have a lot of equipments that you don't find in other ships. So the captain mentioned the sails, and yes, the sails is a big part of it. So that has to run maximum of the time, and this can be a challenge, you know, depending on the old system, because you need to know that the windsurf she's already 30 years old, so which is not a young lady, so it's more difficult to maintain this lady than a brand new one.
Okay. So there you have heard from Chief Engineer. One last question, Captain. What usually the challenges you have for the navigational?
Well, there is not too many challenges today. It's very straightforward. All the areas we go to, they are charted, but of course we have to watch out for very bad weather, hurricanes and so forth, and we need to try to avoid that. We don't want any bad weather which upsets the comfort of our guests. That's for sure.
Okay, so talking about how we chart and how we control the ship, I'm gonna give you a short tour inside the bridge where we have here the panels. As you can see, this is the panel where we control the sails. Not sure if you can see that properly there. And also this is the wheel. We don't normally use this. No, not much, but it's an autopilot now, so nobody's manning the wheel. So, but this is how it looks like here on the bridge. And then you see on this area, this is how, I don't know how to read this, but this is the radar of where the ship is going. basically it's reading some waves as well, Chief, Captain.
Showing the chart and the other ships.
Yeah, so this is how it looks like. If you be one of the bridge officers, you'll definitely know how to read these things here. And it definitely gives you the altitude, the all the things that you need to know, the precise location of the ship as well. So there you go, kids. That's just a quick recap of our bridge area here on board the ship. So
Wow, fantastic. So it's really special that we get to go to the bridge. The bridge is the navigation center. It's like the cockpit of a plane, but it's the bridge is the center for where all the navigation and all the really important stuff is to get this ship through the Caribbean. So I'd love to hear a little bit more. What are the responsibilities of the captain of the ship?
what's that again? Can you repeat the question?
What are the job responsibilities? What are the main things that the captain does every day?
Okay, Captain, it's yours.
Well, as captain, you're responsible for everything on board: the safety, the security, and the comfort of all guests and all crew on board the Windsor. And well, that's my main job task. But also, since we are a passenger ship, I'm also having a lot of social responsibilities with the guests, so meeting them for cocktail parties and dinners and lunches and social events in general. Even weddings, I perform weddings, renewals of the vows, and so on and so on. So being a captain is a very exciting job.
So if we are in a country, the president of the country. So he oversees everything.
Well, we're really excited to get to chat with the captain and the chief engineer today. And so I have a question for the chief engineer. What kind of training did you have to get through to do your job?
So it's Maritime University. So I'm French, and I went to school, college, high school. I don't know exact, grades in USA until I have a scientific. So it's a A level for the English level, and then you enter in university. You have a competition, some examination to enter in the Maritime University. So you need to follow this university, like lawyers, like doctors, etc. And you spend 3 years at school, examination, and then you are able to be as a cadet, as a trainee, like a cadet officer. You go on ships, you learn, and if the company you always are happy with you, then they keep you and they promote you as officer. And then I came back to school, to university, then to get my chief engineer certificate.
Great, really interesting. Now, I heard that one of the main responsibilities for the chief engineer is to bring the sails up and down. And we learned a little bit about the sails and saw some photos. Is there any way that we could take a look at the sails? Are they up right now? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, let me just show you outside.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Oh, this one here. Let me just quickly show you. All right, it's gonna be quickly. I'm sorry. So the sails are up today. As you can see. There you go. I hope you can see that clearly. But yep, we are under sail. We are open and we're just slowly cruising.
Wow, I'm gonna mute Lorena there because as you guys can hear, it's so windy outside, which is probably why the sails are up. So let's see, we can't really hear her. Thanks,
So let me
Lorena.
just.
Oh, wow. It's really, wow, look at those sails. This is the largest sailing ship in the entire world.
Going back now.
Really loud.
Okay. I'm just gonna.
Wow, you can tell how windy it is outside, Lorena.
Yes, it's very windy. As you can see, my hair. It's all over my face.
Great.
So yeah, so you see the sails were actually all masts are up, and that helps us move forward. So are we also?
We're using one engine, one propeller at the moment. Yeah, in addition, it's not enough wind for us right now to only use sail.
Wow, that was really.
Somehow it saves us some fuel.
Now I know that.
You need to know we're like an electrical car. Yeah. Because the propulsion engine on a windsurf, it's electrical engine. Like now, everybody is talking about electrical cars. The windsurf is an electrical engine propulsion. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, guys. That was really cool to see. Now, I know there's a lot of questions in Queens right now, so I'm going to invite some students up to ask questions.
Hold on. Yep, come on up. Say your name and then you can ask your question.
My name is Nick. How tall are the sails?
How tall are the sails?
Yes, they are 68 meters. The masts are 68 meters above sea level. 68 meters. Yeah, we're operating in a metric system.
So that's more than 100 feet. It's very tall.
Yeah, something more than that.
So that's like taller than a lot of buildings around here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Herbert. Hi, my name is Herbert. And have you ever saw dolphins?
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We see dolphins all the time. We actually just saw some dolphins about half an hour ago. There are dolphins everywhere in the ocean, and there's a lot of them, and we just saw some. Yeah, absolutely. Dolphins are everywhere. We see them all the time.
Any other wildlife?
Whales sometimes.
Birds,
Yeah, birds.
crocodiles. Now, when we come to Panama, we can see crocodiles.
How about sharks? No,
You wanna go up? Come on up.
that's not the name. Hi, my name is Ariel, and how you get the sails the sails things up? How do you put the
How
sails?
do you?
The sails are powered by electro-hydraulic power, and we are controlling that here from the bridge, from the control panel, and we are unfurling the sails. They're being rolled off a furler, as it's called, and then they're being put out. It's a fully automatic process. Yeah.
Okay.
Flip a switch.
Yours are-
Do we have time for another one? You wanna go? Come on up.
Yeah.
Make sure you talk nice and loud.
My name is Nash, and I want to ask, what are you guys' like safety hazards?
Well, we are trying not to run aground. We like to keep water around the ship, because if we run aground, that's a very, very bad thing. We try to make all precautions not to run the ship aground on the rocks.
You have to make sure that the water is deep enough for the whole boat to be able to go in. Do you have any other questions for you guys? You come right here, just introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Vladimir, and I have a question. My question is, what happened if the autopilot is not working, and two of you were just doing something very important? Why it wasn't on autopilot?
If the autopilot stops working, we get an alarm right away, and then we would steer manually. We always have officers, they're qualified navigators watching it continuously, and then they take over. Yeah, so the autopilot is just in addition to the navigators, which are always on duty, 24 hours a day.
Wow, great, thank you. So we actually have one question coming in from the live stream on YouTube. So the question is, Captain, can you tell us about what it is like to navigate the Panama Canal?
What?
Yeah, sure. The Panama Canal is a very historic place. It's full of history. We are very proud to go in there. It will be the biggest sail ship ever to go in through the Panama Canal when we do that in 2 days on the 9th. The Panama Canal for me is not very different than any other canal in the world. There's a lot of canals, but out of all of these canals, the Panama Canal is the most famous. And it's also, to a certain extent, the biggest with locks in it, meaning we are lifting the ship up from sea level up to the Gatun Lake level, meaning we're taking it like several levels up. And then we sail across a man-made lake called Gatun Lake. And all this is made by engineers over 100 years ago, and it's a very, very fantastic place to sail. Our guests and crew are always very excited when we sail through the Panama Canal. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. So you'll have to take lots of photos for our classrooms when you are in the Panama Canal. Now let's see if anyone else in Queen has any more questions. Any fourth graders out there?
Can I ask a question? So I just would like to hear a little bit more about the navigation instruments. Like, how do you guys know what direction you're going in, and how do you use the navigation to determine how you're going to your next destination?
Absolutely. For the direction we're going in, we have something called a compass. In this case, it's a gyro compass, meaning it's an electrically operating electromechanical compass. It's very precise. It tells us true north at any given time. That tells us the direction. And then for the exact position, we have GPS, meaning Global Position Satellite System. The GPS tells us accurately where we are, and this is continuously being plotted on what is called an electronic chart. The windsurf does not carry any paper chart, no old-fashioned charts. It's all modern electronic charts. So we know at all times where we are. If all these systems fail, we would have to go back to basics and do celestial navigation. That is basically navigating by the sun and the stars.
Wow, well, let's hope we don't have to get there, because that seems like a really big challenge.
I'm hoping the same.
Anyone else have a question?
So can you tell us where the ship is going next, so we can prepare and think about the next leg of the voyage?
Yes, so next leg of the voyage, after the Colon, Panama, we will be going to Belize City in Mexico as well. That's Costa Maya, and Honduras. That's Roatan, Honduras. And also, yeah, those are one of the places that we will be going on the next leg of the cruise.
Wow, exciting. So I don't think there's any more questions for the students in Queens, and I know that they're heading out to lunch soon. So I'm gonna let everybody, the fourth graders in Queens, say goodbye to Lorena and say thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Lorena. Thank you so much, Captain Rennie, and thank you so much, Chief Engineer Arnaud. It was a pleasure to have everybody on board and to have us join your journey. And we'll be reporting in next week at the same time, and we'll have some more questions for everybody.
Awesome. Talk to you guys next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.